Hey, fifth grade, this is Miss Gibson here with your writing. So today you guys are going to read two poems, First Night by Nikki Grimes and Beech Leaves by James Reeves. So just a couple of information as you're reading the poems. As you read both poems, you're going to read through each multiple times. The reason why we say multiple times so you can get a deeper understanding of what's actually going on. Once you're done reading through this multiple times, you could do it in your head, out loud, you could stand up, get into it however you feel like it. You're going to write down what's literally happening in the poem as a whole. Once you're done with writing down what's literally happening on a separate sheet of paper, of course, what's going on in the poems, you are then going to break each poem down by stanza. So realize these big spaces after the words, so this is one stanza, that's one stanza. And then this big space breaks that stanza and then it goes on to stanza two. Okay? So make sure you are breaking it down stanza by stanza by stanza for both poems to show what's literally happening or what's going on in each stanza so you can understand the poem as a whole. All right. And of course, this is going to get us to our deeper understanding, which will help us answer the four multiple choice to follow. Okay. So you can now pause the video, get into what's literally happening in both poems. Of course, you're going to read them multiple times and then get into deeper understanding of each stanza. And then after that, get into the multiple choice. Actually, don't even get into multiple choice. We're going to break down each stanza. So you're going to pause the video. When you pause the video, you are going to read each poem. What's literally happening, what's going on in each stanza for a deeper understanding, then come back so we can get the deeper understanding together before you jump into the multiple choice. All right. See you back here in however long it takes you to get into deeper understanding. All right. Bye. Welcome back from reading both poems, writing down what's literally happening, and writing down what's going on in each stanza to get a deeper understanding. So let's get into the first poem, First Night by Nikki Grimes. So we're going to go stanza by stanza at this point, and then after that, we're going to get into the second poem, and then after that, you guys are going to get into the multiple choice, and then we'll go over those. So this first stanza, dear Zuri, I wish that you were here. I camped my out my first night in my aunt's backyard. Sleeping was hard with all the sparkling beauty hanging overhead. So right now, as you can see, the speaker is it kind of seems like she's writing a letter to Zuri. Okay. And in this letter, in the first part, she is stating how she's camping outside and she wishes Zuri was there to experience her first experience outside, sleeping, and looking at what's going on in nature around her. Okay. Which is with all the sparkling beauty hanging overhead. The second stanza, night lights, Zuri, everywhere. Clusters of fireflies dancing round my head, keeping me from bed for hours. So within this stanza, as you can see, this one is talking about how she's staying up longer now because she can't get enough of watching these clusters of fireflies and they're dancing around her head. So clearly she's very excited. She has this exclamation point like night lights everywhere. Like she's really getting into this nature experience for the first time and she wants to tell Zuri all about it. Last section, sorry. And the sky. I've never seen one so blue black like a thick overcoat all buttoned up with stars. At midnight, I stretch my arms out to slip the darkness on and open my eyes again at dawn. Okay, so in this stanza, it seems like she finally fell asleep and she gives in to the darkness around her and she opens her arms up to allow that darkness in so she can actually go to sleep and of course forget about the fireflies that were just dancing around her head for hours. All right, so in this poem it seems like she has some deep admiration for nature now. Like this is her first experience out there and nature is a beautiful thing to her and not scary. Maybe she thought she was scary going in to sleeping in her backyard for the first time without Zuri, and she wants to tell her all about this experience and how she's basically loving this. Okay, so we're gonna get into the second poem. So let's scroll down and get into beech leaves. All right, again, we're gonna go stanza by stanza by stanza to figure out what's going on. As it says below, beech is a type of tree. Okay, so this poem is about the leaves that are falling from this type of tree. All right. So if you guys didn't read this little footnote, this is always important to get into, especially when it's coming from the title. It'll give you some type of insight on what you're supposed to be reading about. All right. Stanza 1. In autumn, down the beech wood path, the leaves lie thick upon the ground. It's there I love to kick my way and hear their crisp and crashing sound. Okay. So the speaker here kicks and steps on the autumn leaves. So that's kind of what's going on within this one. So it's autumn, which is fall, another word for fall, and he's going down this pathway and he's enjoying kicking and sweeping up these leaves on the floor or on the ground with his feet. Okay. Second stanza. I am a giant, and my steps echo on thunder to the sky. How the small creatures of the woods must quake and cower as I pass by. All right. So this stanza is kind of adding on to what was going on in the first one. The speaker is visualizing himself right now as a giant. So he has these hard steps. They're echoing and thundering up to the sky. So that's making sure that they're pretty loud giant steps, right? And then he's scaring away the animals at this point because how the small creatures of the woods must quake and cower as I pass by. Clearly, they're running away because what animal wants to get crushed by someone who is making such giant, loud steps as this person right here? All right. Third stanza. This brave and merry noise I make. In summer, also when I stride down to the shining, pebbly sea and kick the frothing waves aside. All right. So this is now not talking about him crushing leaves anymore from this beech tree. This is him going into summer, but also having this same type of like way to crush the waves as he would as leaves. So he's thinking like he likes to do the same to the waves and kick them and stomp on them as much as he can, just as he would do to the leaves that he just did. So right now, the speaker is visualizing himself as a giant that kind of seems like that terrorizes their surroundings, right? And stomps through the outdoors as this powerful force. So he feels more powerful than nature. Okay, so now that we've understood what is going on for each of these poems, you're now going to get into the four multiple choice. So pause the video, get into the four multiple choice, and make sure that you are writing down information that helps you answer and prove your point, even if it doesn't have a specific piece of evidence that goes into it. Explain why you're choosing that answer. So pause the video and get into it. All right, we're going to start with the first one. In first night, what is the most likely reason the speaker says sleeping was hard? So let's identify where this was and where this came up. So she says this in the first stanza. Sleeping was hard, and then it follows with all the sparkling beauty hanging overhead. So remember, she's outside in her backyard, she's looking up at the sky, right? And the sparkling beauty clearly is talking about the stars that are there. So she can't focus on sleeping because she's looking at the sky so much. So this would definitely be answer choice B. So she's admiring nature because she can't stop staring at that sparkling beauty hanging overhead right now. So this is why she's admiring the nature. She's not playing outside. She has no one to play with. She's not talking to someone because right now, technically, she's writing. It seems like she's writing a letter because it says Dear Zuri. And the speaker isn't waiting for anyone because she would have been like, I'm waiting for you, Zuri, to come. Not there. Okay. So make sure that you are realizing why that this is B. The speaker is admiring nature in this moment. 10. Which best describes the mood in first night? A, amazed, B, gloomy, C, curious, D, wary. So process of elimination here, we're definitely going to X out gloomy and wary. Okay? And I'm going to explain why. If you see throughout this entire thing, she is using exclamation points to get to her points. She's in the sky. I've never seen one so blue black, like a thick overcoat all buttoned up with stars. She's giving this type of amazed look and excitement when explaining what's going on around her. She's never experienced this before. So she's definitely not in a sad place in this moment. It may seem like she's curious, but of course there's always a better answer, which is why amazed is the answer for this. She's amazed at how the nature is outside at nighttime. She's never experienced this, and this is why she's giving all these details for this. All right, let's go to 11. In Beach Leaves, how does a first person point of view mostly affect the reader? All right, so if we look through this, it shows the reader that the speaker is lonely. B, it teaches the reader about the beauty of the area. C, it causes the reader to think about animal feelings. D, it helps the reader understand the speaker's experiences. So we're definitely not getting animal feelings in this. So this should definitely not be an answer for this. Speaker is lonely. Not really lonely in a sense. He's enjoying what's going on around him. Never wants to say that I'm waiting for someone, I'm lonely, I'm scared, anything like that. So B and D are the only answer choices left. It teaches the reader about the beauty of the area. D, it helps the reader understand the speaker's experience. Let's scroll back to the page, please. See what's going on here. So right now, it's not really giving us what's the damn sorry. It's not really giving us the beauty about the area. Kind of telling us what the speaker is actually doing. The speaker is loving the fact that he can kick his way through the leaves and hear their crisp and crashing sound. He's describing what he hears when he hears the sound. The steps echo and thunder whenever he steps, and he's a giant. He is down to the shining pebble sea and kicking the frothy waves aside. So this brave and merry noise he makes, this is not really giving us this whole beauty of the area. It's kind of giving us the understanding of the speaker's experience. We're getting his experience right now with the summer because he's in the waves of the beach, and we're getting the experience with this fall scene where he is kicking the leaves and feeling like a giant and crunching them under his feet and how he feels. All right, last one. In line 8 of Beach Leaves, what does the word power mean? A, to worry about life. B, to shrink away in fear. C, to greet with gladness. D, to jump up with excitement. Let's go back up to where it is. We need to read where power is at in the text in order to understand deeper what it means from the object. So it says, how the small creatures of the woods must quicken power as I pass by. Remember before this, it states, I am a giant, and my steps echo and thunder to the sky. So, how would small animals feel if they heard something loud coming by their way? Okay, so because small animals run away from bigger animals or humans, and in this case, giants, clearly they are shrinking away in fear because they want to protect themselves. Okay, so this answer choice is going to be D. They are cowering away. They are running away because all the loud noises that this giant is making as they're crunching through the forest and stepping on leaves and echoing, their steps echoing to the sky. They're definitely afraid of the person right now. All right, so you guys are now done with writing, with multiple choice. You're going to get into writing. Writing. Compare speaker's attitudes in first night to the speaker's attitude in beach leaves. Be sure to use details from both poems to develop your essay. Again, this should be written in your Google Classroom. We already went through how each of these speakers are admiring their nature that is around them right now. So it is your job to get into the attitude about how, like, how are they the same? Are they different? You're comparing and contrasting right now. So make sure you're using details from the poem to prove your point. We already went through what is literally happening in both poems and throughout the stanzas. Make sure if you are confused and need more help with that, one, loop back to the beginning of the video where we started talking about what was going on in each stanza. And then if you are still confused, try it out and then ask for feedback in your Google Classroom so that your teacher knows that I'm confused on how to compare the speaker attitudes. But of course, you need to try it out on your own first in order to receive feedback. All right. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is feeling great. I'll see you guys later.